Top 5 things you probably didn't know about Utah. When you think of Utah, 2 things probably come to mind: Mormonism and polygamy. While it is true that Utah is highly populated by members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons, and they make their home there, you probably would never guess these other things that most people would never even know. So what else can jump out at you about the 45th state? What sort of surprises can come from a place where the navigation is a little crazy? What kind of thing can come from a state that seems so obvious to so few? And why do I start this series with this particular state? We're going to try and answer that, so sit back, relax, and let's get started. Number 5. Utah's original name and size. While it is true that the state was founded by the Mormon pioneers, and it is true that they started the society well before they were admitted for statehood, the original proposed size of the state was, in fact, a ways east of the current state line through present-day Nevada, taking in the area known as the Four Corners, and including part of the Oregon Territory and a portion of California. When the time for being admitted had actually come up, there were already many Mormon settlements all around, with many giving refuge to weary travelers and people striking out for the California gold fields, many of which, may surprise you, still exist. But as today, there is a feeling that the government knew better. They gave Utah the land it now occupies and made further restrictions in order to prevent a state that would be run by a church that many had a problem with. The proposed state was to carry the name Deseret, a name taken from the Book of Mormon that means honeybee. Instead, the government chopped the state up, laid down their own boundaries, and gave the state a name meant to honor the Ute tribe of North America. Still, the state still has, at its center, a beehive, and the state motto is the honeybee state. An ironic aside, church leader Joseph Smith Jr. said that the church would move to the Rocky Mountains and would go out from there. And the term Ute, it was later discovered, means the people on the mountaintops. Number 4. The Great Salt Lake. When Utah was first founded, they thought they had a direct route to the ocean when they discovered the lake. As it turned out, it's a landlocked lake, meaning that although waters flow in, it doesn't necessarily flow out. The actual size of the lake was quite a bit larger a long time ago, and as it dried up, it left behind the Bonneville Salt Flats. These saline deposits are so flat and so undisturbed that it's common for racers of ultra-fast cars to do their thing there. When a car finally broke the sound barrier, it was at the flats. And if someone finds anything out of place in the flats, like a sinkhole, it's no problem to fill that hole up with salt again. The lake itself is so salty that it makes it literally impossible to drown. Many go there just for the experience of floating in that body of water. Still, it's not a good idea to drink the water. It's a known fact that ocean water has a salinity level that makes it very dangerous to drink directly, and the Great Salt Lake is 5 times saltier. Still, if you need some salt for a recipe and you happen to have a quart of the lake's water, boiling the water away will not only leave you with plenty to cook with, it will also leave you with a lot more to spare. Even so, there are fish in the brine of the lake water during spring runoff, and fresh water starts to get in. Fishermen love it. Finally, the city that was named for the lake actually wasn't meant as a capital. That honor originally was supposed to go to Fillmore, Utah. Still, it seems that great things come from great ideas, and now it doesn't seem like anywhere else would be right. Number 3. Ski Utah. The most recognized motto on the Utah license plate is no wonder. The average snowfall in the state is around 500 inches, and because it is technically a desert area, the snow actually comes down as a fine powder, making it ideal for skiers. With 14 ski resorts, They range all over the state, many of them with miles of runs. It's no wonder Utah calls itself the greatest snow on earth. Number 2, the Salt Lake Temple. Perhaps the most recognized building in Utah, and the standing image that comes up when considering the church that built its home there, it has a surprising history. First was the foundation. The first one was actually removed. When word came that a platoon of the U.S. Army was coming to seize control of the refugee Mormons because of a rumor that they were preparing to wage war on the United States, the temple foundation was buried. When the platoon actually showed up, not in disguise and not really being subtle in any way, they decided there was no truth to the rumors and left as quickly as they entered without a shot being fired. But the foundation, once uncovered, was found cracked. The mortar they had tried to use to fill in the natural spaces had caused too much of a shift when buried. It was clear that the foundation, not too high at the time, would have to be redone. The rocks were quarried from a granite site some miles away, but the technology of the time meant they'd have to carry one block at a time, taking several days to transport it to the site, where craftsmen would cut them to precision before placing them on the structure. A little aside here, I think it's interesting how we can marvel at the pyramids of Giza and see something else across the world, something built to the exact same standards with tools that were only a little more complex. Back on topic, as the railroad was making its way across the country, they shut down the quarry work for a while in order to get the railroad set. The time taking the stones to the site and the fact that it was a relatively small transportation each time before they made it imperative to find another quicker means, and the railroad was the way. At a ceremony finishing the exterior work 39 years after it was begun, it was proposed that they finish the interior in 1 year's time. The actual work was finished a few hours ahead of schedule, even though the best minds thought it would take at least 3 years. All in all, it is a wonder, and it took 40 years to build, making the site the best customers for the first department store called ZCMI, which is now a mall, and giving everyone a chance to make the eventual symbol of the church a reality. And the site, with the visitors area around it, makes it the 16th most visited place in the United States, and the ones who run it really outdo themselves every Christmas time with breathtaking displays. So with that, with the temple being number 2, what could top that? What event or fact could make it even higher? What is it that would make Utah such a landmark? Number 1. Utah is the birthplace of TV. There are no homes that don't have at least one TV in them, whether working or not. Today, many use flat screen technology for a total HD experience, but the original receiver of the vision, as well as sound, came from the mind of one Philo T. Farnsworth. Yes, that's right, the character of Professor Farnsworth in the cartoon sci-fi show Futurama was named for him. And if truth be known, Philo had a tough job ahead of him. The idea was simple. Set up a radiation screen in front of the cathode ray diode, well, as close to a diode as they had back then, pointed at the radiation screen and see if it might be possible to convert it into a more solid image. Imagine their excitement when they saw a single burst of light. It was a few years later when they discovered how to convert that one light into an image, and a while longer before the image was seen moving. Rudimentary speakers were added, and suddenly the idiot's lantern was born. It wasn't that much longer before a whole lot of people wanted to watch TV, and the heavy lead-coated box with a funny screen in front of it was put into homes. Unfortunately, Philo never saw that much of his creation, but look at what his tinkering accomplished. What we have now, quite clearly, is something that started with one man in a lab trying desperately to see if he could make his theory work. Although we moved away from the cathode ray tube and the huge lead-filled boxes, and more into a world of touchscreen and high def, we owe a great deal to Mr. Farnsworth and his invention. None of it would be here had he not been fiddling around with an idea. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more states and more videos. I'll see y'all next time.